welcome back to Red Vibe. We've got the FIFA 21 Charlton Athletic ratings in today. In the last few hours, a lot of the database was released. We've got more people with the game now, and yeah, this information is filtering through, and the entire Charlton squad now has officially got their FIFA Ultimate Team ratings. So yeah, to make clear, it's the Ultimate Team ratings and not the career mode ratings. They're normally quite similar at the beginning anyway, but then they tend to change as game weeks go by, and more in towards October you start to see the career mode ratings change a bit, and even the squads change. But here we go. So we're going to start with the lowest rated players. The lowest rated player for Charlton is Outria. We haven't actually seen this guy really, I don't think, in the first team. 50 rated, pretty much the bottom of the barrel of FIFA bronze cards. There are some that go into like high 40s, but Outria, I think he's about, does it say here? Yeah, he's 20 years old. Hasn't featured in the first team, not a lot for FIFA to go by. So yeah, he's a 50 rated. No complaints from me. Don't know enough about him. We move on. Junior Kiturna, he actually has featured a couple of times in the first team, but again, hasn't featured anywhere near enough for them to have an actual accurate reading on how good of a player this guy is. I actually like the look of him. He's quite lively. I've actually met him as well. He's a really nice kid. And yeah, 51 rating, no complaints from me once again. Moving on to Ashley Maynard-Brewer. He's unchanged from last season. Didn't get any first team football really last season, so again, can't really complain. Did he play? He might have played in like a cup once or twice. I can't remember, to be honest. He hasn't played anywhere near enough football to gauge, again, a proper rating for him. So 52, fine. Don't mind it. Can't complain. Then we move on to a new come up for the Charlton team. So we got Ben Dempsey here, someone who I actually really rate in real life. Was surprised actually to see Lee Bowyer starting with Vennings on the bench ahead of Dempsey, because I actually rate Dempsey. He's got a lot about him going forward. I don't know, maybe Lee Bowyer can see something that I don't, and you know, seeing as he's an ex-professional midfielder who played in Europe and the Premier League, I'd probably trust him over me. But I do rate Ben Dempsey. 55 is a decent starting rating as well for the 20-year-old, and it seems that FIFA realise he's actually got a bit of potential. It's really not a bad starting rating for a League One centre mid at the age of 20, so yeah, not bad. We move on to Sarpong Wiridu, who's actually a rare bronze. I think he was in the last FIFA as well. I can't actually remember what he was. It was about this anyway. He's actually 20 as well. He's a 57 rated right back, so potentially he could become a decent championship player if he's got this rating in career mode. It's not bad. He's rare. He's got a 3-star weak foot, 2-star skills, 6'1" overall. Not bad. Moving on to some actual first team players now. Albie Morgan is still, I say still, he might have been a 56 last year, but he's a 58, which for me is underrated. This guy needs to be a 60. I know he hasn't played a lot of first team football, more than the average 20-year-old, I would say. And I mean, he's rated above a lot of the other 20-year-olds we've seen in the Charlton squad so far, at a 58 rating. But for me, because he's played maybe a little bit more first team football than the others, and he's sort of in that process of breaking into the first team. 58, maybe a little bit low for me. 60 would have been a nice rating for him. Moving on to Josh Davison, who's also a 58 rated. He's also 20 years old, so they're putting him as a striker on the same level as Morgan. Now, I rate Davison. I think he's going to be a good physical menace of a striker. I can see him knocking about like League One and the Championship in his, for a while, and maybe improving later on in his career, but I'm not too displeased with a 58 rating for Josh Davison. Again, one that maybe you'd like to see 1 or 2 higher, but overall can't complain too much. He's got a 4-star weak foot as well, which is interesting. Moving on, we've got George Lapsley, again, wildly underrated for me by 3, even 4 ratings. This guy should be like a 62, 63 in my opinion. He's a sort of utility man in a way. I know he's a midfielder, but he fills in at right back. He's just happy. He's just one of these players that's happy to do whatever it takes to help the team. A very solid technical player, very solid, energetic player. 59 rated, a little bit too low for me. I'd go 62, I think, with George Lapsley. And he is 23 as well, so yeah, they've not rated him very much this FIFA. Moving on to Alfie Doughty. Now, I'm not too displeased with this. As a left-back card, he's going to stay as a left-back now on FIFA, because FIFA Ultimate Team just won't pay attention to like League One players and bronze players per se. But I think in career mode he'll change to a left mid or maybe a left wing back perhaps. But the good thing about career mode now is that you can change positions and add positions, so you can make him a left back and a left mid in career mode. And 63 as a rating actually fine with that. He's, again, 20 years old, like a lot of our players, and he is quite clearly the highest rated of all of our 20 and below old players. So yeah, 77 pace, you can see that that's going to be one of his main features. You're probably going to be able to get that towards the 90s in career mode, but yeah, 63 really good for the young Alfie Doughty. Pleased with that one. Moving on, I can't believe this guy's this low rated. Connor Washington, quite a, he's basically in his peak at this point, and they've given him a 64 bronze rare card. I would have given this guy like a 67, 68. I think he has been taken down a couple of ratings from last year when he was at, where was he? Hearts. So, yeah, a bit disappointing to be honest for Washington. And having scored 2 in his opening 3 games, you'd like to see that pushed up in the updates when it comes to career mode. Moving on, we've got Darren Pratley, who has, I think, gone down by 1 to a 65. This guy, just FIFA are blind to him having great seasons. He was so good last year and they've put him down. Doesn't make any sense. This guy should be like a 69. Again, a wildly underrated player, but with his age, I think FIFA just look at a 35-year-old and say, oh yeah, don't care too much, let's just put him down a notch. So he ends up with a 65 rated. Disappointed with that, on the same level, in fact even more so than I was disappointed with Lapsley, I'd say. Alex Gilby, a 25-year-old player. I'm drawing such attention to the ages here because I know FIFA look at players they don't really care too much about, and they use that age as a sort of rough estimation of what to rate these players. That's just my opinion. 65 rated for him, probably a little bit low. I've only seen him really in a Charlton shirt, haven't really watched much else of him, and he looks like he should be like an upper echelon 60s player, maybe 67, 68, but I can't complain too much. I'll have to see more of him to form my opinion, but I like the look of Gilby overall, so maybe a little bit underrated. Macaulay Bonne does get a +7, I believe, upgrade from his card in FIFA 20. Still got that 5-star weak foot. His pace, his shooting, his dribbling and his physical have been upgraded. I don't know about his pace. He was a 58 rated in the last FIFA, so having scored sort of 11, 12 championship goals, they have given him a fair old upgrade. We love to see it. I think actually 65 is probably about right for Macaulay Bonne as well. So yeah, pretty accurate, no complaints. Jake Forster-Caskey is a 66, which again, I think they've put him down by 1 or he stayed the same. And that higher attacking work rate is nice for the starting season in a career mode. 70 pace and then pretty much like mid-60s all around the rest of the stats. Given that he's now 26, he's not going to grow too much in career modes, but don't mind it. It's acknowledging the fact that he's been out of injuries and has been sort of in and out of the team a bit. But I think in real life, Forster-Caskey has a lot more quality than this, and he could be easily if he was on form in like the low 70s. But I'll take it for now. I'm not massively complaining about that one. Oshilaja is a rare 66 rated. Again, I think this is pretty much bang on from FIFA for this one, a 66 rated. I look at Oshilaja and think, yeah, that's about right. He actually has some pretty wild stats though. I think he had the same in FIFA 20. 79 physical, 81 pace, making him, I think, our fastest player. Don't know about that. I'd say Doughty would give him a good run for his money, amongst maybe 1 or 2 others. I say that, we haven't got a whole lot of pace, have we? But anyway, yeah, Oshilaja 81 pace, 66 rated, no complaints from me. I was a lot more angry last year about our ratings, I would say, than this year. Next up, 67 rated Chuks Enike, our highest rated striker at the club. That pace has gone up significantly, which I'm very, very pleased with. I was so confused when he had like 45 pace or whatever he had last time. This didn't make any sense. Still though, I think he's faster than that. I do think he's a bit faster than that. Obviously that physical and that shooting and that dribbling, his standout attributes, as well as his 63 passing. Again, 67's decent. If he was a bit more of a bit less of an injury-prone player, he would be in, again, like the 70s, but I can't complain with this one either. Ben Amos, a 67 rated keeper, another one, just can't complain about it. I think probably if he had played last season, if Dylan Phillips wasn't on mad form and Amos was playing, I think he would have played well in the championship. I do think he's a championship goalkeeper, and again, one of those players that if he was on form, if he was playing a bit more regularly, could be in the 70s. Maybe like 70, 71. Wouldn't have batted an eyelid if he was that. So maybe a tad underrated, but probably just about at the minimum threshold of not too shabby. Ben Purrington, half surprised that he's moved up by 2, considering he had a bit of a difficult season in the championship. I think this is again to do with his age, a 24-year-old player. Played quite a lot for us in the championship. I like Ben Purrington. I think he's a good player for League One and a good maybe backup left back at his current stage of his career for the Championship. But yeah, 67, maybe a little bit overrated, and it's not often I'll say that. Maybe he could have been like a 66. It's probably about right, but it just surprises me that they've underrated so many others and then given Purrington the 67. That's all I mean. 67 actually, on reflection, is probably not bad for Purrington. Oztumer, 68 rated, probably about right. He's tricky. He's a good dribbler. I think for League One, he'll be a very good player in the first season. 4-star skills as well, which is good to know. And I think the same rating, maybe, as last season. Don't mind it. Moving on to our final 3 highest rated players, we've got Jason Pearce at 68. I think he's gone down again by 1. Fine, he's 32. Was actually kept out the side by Naby Sarr last year, so 68, cannot complain. That's a very solid rating for a League One centre-back, and I think he is one of the best centre-backs probably in League One. So 68, anywhere between 68 and 71 would have been fine for me. Johnny Williams, again, such a shame that this guy hasn't scored for a while because FIFA just absolutely abuses finishing. Like 59 shot is not great, but 69 overall. Yeah, last year I was a bit fuming about this, but he didn't have as great a season last year as maybe he did the year before in the playoff promotion campaign. So 69, I'm alright with it. I'm alright with it. And then finally, the highest rated player at Charlton so far is Dylan Phillips at 71. Ironically, a player we might lose, but yeah, FIFA have acknowledged that this guy had a really good season for us, and yeah, he's our highest rated player so far. You might be able to see, no you won't, I think it's chopped off on your screen. Again, 71 for Phillips, by the way, absolutely fine by me. Hope he stays, but if we want to cash in on him, whatever, you know. I love Dylan Phillips, but we've got Ben Amos and Phillips looks set on leaving, so it is what it is. It'll be a shame, but yeah, 71, our highest rated player. I just want to again mention Akin Fanwo I haven't seen an official FIFA 21 rating for him. It says here that on FIFA 21 he's a 57 bronze card, 57 overall, and he can go to a 68, which I need to see more of this guy to form an opinion, but I think he's quite highly rated at Norwich, so maybe a little bit underrated. And then moving on to our other signing so far that's not included in that original batch of players, Ben Watson, a standard silver card, apparently at 68 rated. You can see he's got the Forest badge there because FIFA haven't quite updated themselves yet, but it looks like he's going to be a 68 rated midfielder, which I think makes him our highest rated midfielder. Yeah, Forster-Caskey was a 66. So I think I'm right in saying that. So yeah, another solid player for Charlton. He's 35 years old. So yeah, can't complain. He's had Premier League and Championship, high-level Championship experience. Not bad. Yeah, so that is the Charlton ratings for FIFA 21 so far. We hopefully will make some more signings, and hopefully as well they'll rejig it a little bit for, you know, in the next update or whatever. I'm interested to use some of the youth players like Sarpong Wiradoo, Morgan, and even Doughty. Doughty's going to be the one this season for career mode to try and grow to like a Premier League standard player. So yeah, that is going to be it for this video, guys. Of course, this will be the last video before I actually start uploading full-on FIFA 21 series and content. The Charlton career mode's coming, as well as Clubs in Trouble, a brand new series, and the head-to-head career mode as well. So make sure you subscribe with the notification bell turned on. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you in the next video. See you later.